Namaste, angels. This will be our new moon in Libra reading, the new moon that occurs on October 19th, Thursday. I'm starting this reading at 5:55 p.m. on Monday, October 16th. And I think I'm going to start with some retrogrades. Well, you know what? I want to start with some clarification because I invited you guys to ask me any questions you had after my rant in the general reading. And there were a couple. So the first one, I did not say I don't like a lot of fans, although what I said, I guess, kind of means the same thing. What I said was I don't like a lot of fanfare. And the fare wasn't heard clearly. And what I meant by that is, because of how reserved, I guess, in that respect, I am, and to myself, you know, like the wallflower card, I've been saying, Capricorn, Scorpio, sometimes Gemini, we're like at the party, but we don't necessarily want to be seen or be involved with anybody, that sort of thing, like keeping to ourselves. Like Jay-Z, I think, is one who is, you know, pretty philanthropic, donates to a lot of charities and stuff, but we tend not to learn that he did until much later, if at all. You know, real G's move in silence, like that sort of thing. So for example, regard to myself, I once wrote a letter to New York City's Departments of Transportation and Parks and Recreation. And the letter was asking that a street in New York City be permanently closed and a park be built there. It actually happened. The street was permanently closed and a park was built there. However, I didn't follow the story or situation and make sure that I was, you know, in the paper and in the pictures and, you know, when, for example, let's say, I'm not calling out anybody in particular. I'm just using this as an example. Let's say the city councilman, you know, went and cut the ribbon and stuff like that and took credit for, I didn't say, no, the park is there because of me. Like, you know, or it was my idea or anything like, I mean, it's a matter of public record, right? But I don't make noise about it. So that sort of thing. So that's what I meant about not liking a lot of fanfare. I certainly didn't mean it in an arrogant way. And it wasn't suggested that I did, but I want to be clear about that since I'm going back over it. Also, I was asked about the meeting of myself and my divine masculine. So when I said that we hadn't met, but I went on to say we went out, I was saying all of that to say we hadn't met on that day. That wasn't the day that we met. We knew one another already. We went out on January 3rd, 2015 as friends and as part of a group of friends, and sort of were awakened to one another. Although in hindsight, you know, retrospect, there has always been not necessarily clues of a romantic connection, but some sort of connection, like without explanation, you know what I mean, between the two of us. So we did not meet on that day. We knew one another already, but we sort of met again or were awakened to one another on that day, January 3rd, 2015. And I have not been involved with another man or woman for that matter since. So that's my story on that. And you know what? I appreciate that you guys asked me. I'm glad that you feel comfortable going ahead and asking me. I mean, I know I said that you could, but I'm glad that some of you, those of you who did, actually felt comfortable doing so. And I think with regard to that one in particular, like, you know, who's providing your relationship advice potentially, it is important to know if they have experienced, you know, what you have. And I know for a fact there are a number of, you know, quote unquote, twin flame gurus, some of the most popular, who not only haven't met their, you know, divine counterpart, I can't even say that they have one necessarily. It is a known fact, the ones that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, that they have not met. And a couple of those go a little bit further to believe that theirs, when they do meet, that theirs are particular celebrities. You know, they think that they've been awakened to who the counterparts are and that they're celebrities. And this is possible. Celebrities need love too. And, you know, they sometimes meet and fall in love with people who are not in the public eye. So I'm not saying that that doesn't happen and that's not a possibility. However, if in one breath you're saying that you've been on the spiritual journey and even further to that, the twin flame journey for 30 years, and another, you haven't met your divine counterpart yet, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want my advice from that person. I would think they were doing spiritual journey and or divine union all wrong. And, you know, something wasn't adding up. So for those reasons, I totally, not only was it welcome, but I totally understand why you would want clarification on my meeting or not of my divine masculine. So, okay, with that said, I'm going to go right into this reading, I think, and some of the planetary retrogrades, because I think that a couple of those might further impact us and what's going on. Beginning with Chiron, which is not actually a planet, but, you know, a celestial body that is in retrograde right now, went into retrograde on June 30th and doesn't come out until December 5th. It's in retrograde in Pisces. And Chiron is, you know, what they call the wounded healer. And he is I'll say, quote unquote, mythological being, because, you know, as far as I know, he could have been a real being, who was able to heal like everyone but himself. And don't many of us feel that way, you know, quite often. So that's what that is. If you can look it up to find out like where Chiron, you know, is located in your chart and what it means to have Chiron in Pisces, but that's where he is. And there's a couple of planets, I think Pluto, Uranus. Well, you know what? Why am I doing it off the top of my head? Let's go to findyourfate.com, because that's some place where I like to read exactly what they give nice little summaries as to what the retrogrades mean or what it means for a particular planet to be in retrograde. So Mercury's out, thank God. And won't be in retrograde again until November 14th. So it's coming up, but we have some time before we have to deal with Mercury again in that way. Venus, no more this year. Jupiter, no more this year. Saturn, yep. Saturn went direct on August 25th and is in shadow in Sagittarius and doesn't come out until December 1st. Lilith also in Sagittarius, by the way. I think exiting in the beginning of November. I forget what day right now. The 8th is like talking to me. I keep hearing November 8th, but at the same time, that doesn't feel necessarily accurate. In any case, Uranus also in retrograde. It entered retrograde on August 2nd and doesn't go direct until January 2nd. So when Uranus is in retrograde, it takes about 84 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending about 7 years in each sign of the zodiac. Uranus moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 148 days. When it is in retrograde, our inner freedom is the focus. So I think that's important. Let me read Saturn as well, because again, that is in shadow until December 1st. Saturn takes around 29.5 years to do a complete revolution around the sun. Saturn goes into retrograde every year for around 140 days. When Saturn goes retrograde, it's a good time to revisit our relationships, work on long-term goals, responsibilities, and duties. It's a time to restructure the way that we manifest our reality and to find a new attitude toward obstacles. So this too, I would say, is important. Neptune, also in retrograde goes direct on November 22nd. Neptune takes about 164 years to do a complete revolution around the sun. Hi, Raphael. That's interesting. Thus spending, and I keep seeing something blinking over here too. I'm not sure what's happening, one of the candles or something. Neptune takes about 164 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending about 14 years in each sign of the zodiac. Neptune moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 150 days. When Neptune goes retrograde, our spirituality, inner tranquility, and vision become the focus. So vision as in foresight, right? Not necessarily our seeing sight. Pluto, also in shadow. Because not too long ago, I was very excited that Pluto was facing direct, because all that time it was going backward. It was pulling people too. Some of us having difficulty making those transformations that the planet of transformation tends to drive us to do, because it was going backward, like we were going backward as well. Pluto takes around 248 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending on average 21 years in each sign of the zodiac. Pluto moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 5 or 6 months. When Pluto goes retrograde, it's a good time to reflect on how we're doing with change and transformation. So Pluto will leave that RX zone on January 18th. And those are the planets that we need to be aware of during this period. Also, astrology surrounding us. On 10/10, Jupiter entered Scorpio, as you guys know. 10/14, Venus entered Libra. 10/17, so tomorrow, Mercury enters Scorpio, joins Jupiter there. 10/19 is our new moon, for which this reading is. 10/22, Mars enters Libra. And so it'll be joining Venus there. And 10/23, the Sun enters Scorpio. So some final Libras will be having their birthday during this period too. And the first of the Scorpios will as well, over this 2-week period that this moon reading will cover. What else I want to tell you? October 19th is the 292nd day of the year. So 11/11. That's according to the Gregorian calendar. There are 73 days remaining until the end of the year. Some events that occurred, significant events that occurred on October 19th in history, as according to onthisday.com. In the year 202, so also 11/11, 202 BC, so before Christ. Although that's not what BC means. It means that, but that's not to what it translates. It's Latin. In any case, the Battle of Zama, Zama. Hannibal Barca and the Carthaginian army are defeated by Roman legions under Scipio Africanus. So that's Scipio Africanus. And that ends the Second Punic War, Punic. 1781, British General Cornwall surrenders at Yorktown at 2 p.m. The U.S. Revolutionary War ends. 1926, Russian Politburo throws out Leon Trotsky and his followers. 1943, streptomycin, the first antibiotic remedy of tuberculosis, is isolated by researchers at Rutgers University. 1987, which is 88, Black Monday. Yeah, I remember that year because my father lost money. The Dow Jones stock falls 508.32 points, or 22%, 11/11, 4.5 times the previous daily record. 2015, U.S. scientists from University of California find evidence life on Earth may have begun 4.1 billion years ago, 300 million years earlier than they'd previously thought. Did you know the largest gold nugget, 215 kilograms, was found in New South Wales on October 19th in the year 1872, or 99 or 9, which would make it a 19. October 19th, 1872 equals 19 or 1. Famous birthdays: Jacques Eden, Miguel Angel Asturias, James Bevel, Peter Max, and Evander Holyfield. Would you believe Frenchman C. Hopper patents the fire extinguisher on October 19th in the year 1722. There were some famous weddings as well, and the famous deaths include Jonathan Swift, who died in 1745, and Ernest Rutherford, who died in 1937. And with that, let's get on to our moon. So I'm going to do dice specific to the moon reading in the 2-week period, beginning with weekend away. Oh, eat cake. And it's 50-50. Oh, nice. Spirit says spend money. Maybe we get some, like a jackpot from Jupiter. Jupiter and Scorpio. Also, stay in bed. And try again. Spirit says, forget it. So as always, I'm going to begin with my energy oracle. And Jesus, card number 51, the healer of the ages, which I think I began the last moon reading with. And Raphael, I'm actually not really surprised that he showed up to say hello. The timing was interesting to me, but I'm not really surprised that he came to say hello because he was here before and told me to use his cards, for some healing advice or advice with regard to our healing. And I actually have a few decks related to this kind of energy, to which I shuffled. So with this one, the energy oracle, again, card number 51 equals 6 equals love, and Jesus is love, healer of the ages. With my ascended master deck, I've come to Hilarion, health and healing. Angel therapy, Archangel Raphael, the healing angel is with you, supporting your healing work. And with his oracle cards from Doreen Virtue, expect a miracle. So something very heavy energy of healing right now. And I guess that makes sense too, because this new moon, at least in my opinion, new moon in Libra, is going to be about the things about which we just read, those planets that are in retrograde. So it'll be affecting our relationships, our spirituality, our need for freedom, desire for freedom, to apply some of the things that we learned about ourselves and what we wanted and all that kind of stuff last month, apply it this month, as is typical during the month of Heshvan, which also will begin during this period. It begins on the 21st on the Hebrew calendar, year 5778. And balance, right? Libra, the scales of balance. So, and we saw a lot of that in the weekly readings too, coming into balance. I think particularly the general, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess none of this should be surprising. We're working on healing. And opening to storm warning. I like storm warning in reverse because it means that, we've gotten past, we've weathered the storm, as they say. We've made it through. Still in reverse. and opening to caring connections. Upright. Still in reverse. Adjacent possibilities, also in reverse. We've chosen one. Right, when it's upright, it's another number 6, card number 24. When it's upright, this is how it looks. I mean, there's several doors, you know, which one could choose to go through. But when it's like this, it's like, you know, we've emptied out all the cups, so to speak. It reminds me of the 7 of Cups. We've dumped everything out. We've already chosen one. A storm warning in reverse. I'm going to cut. Is that Raphael's candle that keeps blinking too? The green one? I think so. He might have something else to say during this reading. Adjacent possibilities upright. Maybe for the few remaining that have a choice to make through which door they choose to go. Overall energy is patience, and I like that there's like a moon-shaped object behind her. I'm going to say it's the moon behind this angel. She's holding a clock, and you know, she's a timekeeper, I guess. But when she shows up upright, she comes to guide us not to like impose our will on any people, places, or things, and to let go of like the sense of urgency that we tend to have, that something needs to happen now and the way that I want it to happen. And it's similar to that expectancy card that's in the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle, in that by having this sort of unilateral thinking, it's like one track mind sort of thing. I'm focused on this one person that I want, or this one thing that I want, and I want it this way, and I want it now. We are blocking our blessings. So this angel comes through, you know, to remind us that like life is both too short and too long to be stressed out like that, and to just sort of like chill and go with the flow. This card will represent the divine being. So not necessarily a couple, you know, if you want to apply it to the couple in your life, that's fine. But, you know, singles too, this will represent that being. The recent past, the near future, our higher self, any blocks ahead of us or that have been in our way, what might we do to better our situation as the feminine specifically, the masculine? What further advice would the universe give to either? And the outcome. Divine being. Rest and rejuvenation in reverse. It is card number 19. I want you to see this. And this card is about the need for balance and zen and peace. When it's upright, yes. I mean, when it's in reverse in particular, it's about the need. When it's upright, you know, we're in a good place, or we've recently come into a good place or approaching a good place. When it's in reverse, we've got a little bit of work to do with regard to balance. So not surprised based on what I just said. I think it's really cool that we got card number 19 to start out with, you know, that we're being represented by that number. As is God the Father. The recent past. anxiety, nail biting, panicking. Again, this sense of urgency that the angel of patience says we need to let go of. And when I picked this up, I was trying to pick up the whole deck. I did not. I've revealed here Archangel Chamuel upright. This is the Archangel of unconditional love. Here he is sort of being the guardian of the solar plexus. So we should probably work on that area too. If we want to do some meditation, some clearing, some healing, specifically in that area, but also in the areas, again, of unconditional love and letting go of the need to impose our will upon another being in particular. The near future. Envy in reverse. So I'm happy about this. It looks like we continue to progress in this area. Like there's been hostilities, and we saw, I think last full moon or last moon reading, which happened to be about the full moon as opposed to this one, which is a new moon. We saw that some hostilities may pop up. So this might be them ending, or it looks to be them ending. Our higher self, the broken heart in reverse. I like seeing this too, because this is that overcoming and again, allowing, sort of like similar to the cup spilling out and the adjacent possibilities spilling out. This is the pain, the hurt, the heartache, the resentment, the regret spilling out. Like the heart needed to crack open in order to release these things. And that's happened, and we're overcome that as well. So that's pretty awesome. And it's a 9. Nines are about endings. In supreme math, 9s are about born. Born is the new beginning. So like that, with every ending, there is a new beginning. So I think that this card depicts born really well, as it does the angel number meaning of, and the numerology meaning, endings. Blocks. Happy family. Unfortunately, some of us have had like bickering, fighting, our siblings, difficulty with our parents. Our parents don't like our path. They don't like our partner. They don't like our choices. They don't like our close friends don't. People speaking against what we want, trying to lead us in a different direction. So we have this happy family in reverse, that has been a block. For some of us, this is also like our existing immediate family, and we're not happy. This is like a marriage that's not happy, or a cohabitating couple, co-parenting couple that's not happy. But that relationship exists, and we haven't completely cleared it away. Maybe we haven't gotten divorced yet. We haven't even filed yet. Or we've separated, but we're still living together. We haven't moved out and all that kind of stuff. And that has been a block as well. I'm feeling other chords too. Like we have physically moved away from one another, but there's like manipulation. There's strings being pulled. From what I can see, it's often in the case of the masculine more so than the feminine, that he's being, like children being used against him. Like family court issues and child support and custody and things like that. Not, in the favor of the masculine, like use against him in a like malicious way. Again, being pulled around by strings. And I am seeing that in some cases, it's like his parents or somebody too. And maybe again, like they like the other partner more, or they just want you to go a particular way. And sometimes money coming into play in those circumstances, like I'll write you out of the will sort of thing. That's what this is. What can the feminine do? Woman holding a heart in reverse. Card number 44. She's surrounded by archangels. This woman in reverse can be connected to this. And maybe that's why I kept being drawn back to this card to spend so much time on it. Because she can be someone in our lives who is causing us to feel overwhelmed and turned upside down, to bring us negativity, and it's often somebody that's like a close friend or a family member. Doesn't mean us well, unfortunately. This can just also be ourselves, although I turned this upright. It doesn't belong upright. This was anxiety. Oh no, it was upright. The recent past was anxiety. So like we're over that now. That's the past. Because this is a person who's not necessarily anxious, but like I said, overwhelmed and quite possibly hurt by close friends or family and feeling manipulated by them. So what can the feminine do would be to, work on turning herself around from that situation, turning the situation itself around, possibly having to, cut some cords to some people. And they may, again, be close friends and or family. What about the masculine? What can he do? Strategy in reverse. Before I did this reading, I used my big eagle feather to fan the white sage. So that jumped out at me, this feather here. I think the masculine's being guided to like toss the rule book, break from tradition and do him. That's why strategy is in reverse. Like we don't have to go by the playbook. We go by our, intuition, our inner knowing, our heart, our gut. We don't need whatever's written in this book. To both. What would the universe advise both masculine and feminine? Jesus, healer of the ages in reverse. This is who we need to seek if we find ourselves in one of these places of pain. This is upon whom we can call, in particular for help in those areas. I hate seeing, I get turned around like this woman holding a heart. I don't like seeing this card. I don't like seeing Jesus upside down. Outcome. The temple path. So at the end of the day, we find our way, and it's our way. This is our path. It's the temple path, yes, but this is our individual spiritual path. And we find our way back to it. We reconnect those of us who are feeling turned around, upside down, unhappy family, imbalance, right? Upside down here. We find our way. We get reconnected to our spirituality and to the spirit realms, to healers like Jesus and Archangel Raphael and with whomever it is you on a personal level choose to connect with. We find our way back, our higher selves, all of that. We find our way back to it, and back to the temple path. So that's awesome. That told the real story. Let's see what else we got now. So I'm going to go to the Angel Tarot. I'm beginning with the Eight of Fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. And opening to the Lovers. No reversals in this deck. With intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. The Lovers represents the sign of Gemini. And look who's on this card. Archangel Raphael. So yet again, and another 6 too. I think that's going to have continued meaning throughout the the reading for us. Eight of Fire. This is a card of movement. It can be a card of communication. Opening to the Nine of Air. Expecting the worst. Self-fulfilling prophecies and sleepless nights. I'm feeling that more so has to do with the need for some of us to actually get some sleep, some rest. And that's connected to that rest and rejuvenation card that was upside down. Some of us need some actual rest and rejuvenation. Eight of Fire. Opening to the Queen of Water, who's tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. Queen of Water represents the sign of Scorpio in particular, but also, of course, all water signs. Pisces, Cancer as well. Queen of Water back. And one more. Look what it is. Libra, or Justice. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Whoop. The Queen of Water jumped out, and behind her, the Eight of Fire was back yet again. I'm going to cut. And it's the Nine of Water. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away and you have a love of life. Overall energy is the Eight of Water. So this is very Temple Path-like, right? A desire to move on. The search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. Masculine, you're crowned by life experience or the Tower with Archangel Chamuel. So this is a quote unquote coincidence too, because when I opened up the deck when I was trying to pick it up and I exposed Archangel Chamuel in the solar plexus. So here he is again, a significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. So of course, life experience is the Tower in the traditional tarot. Masculine surrounded by the Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. And in his subconscious, the Queen of Air, who's independent, experienced, realistic and witty, objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. The masculine may very well be thinking, pondering who, what, where he needs to cut from his life. He also could be particularly impacted in a way that he's thinking about him or her, a Queen of Air, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Also, this could be Venus affecting him. The fact that Venus, again, has entered Libra during this period, and whether or not that's in his chart, that can be an effect as well. Feminine, crowned by the moon. I never get to do a moon reading without the moon showing up. And actually, when I was shuffling the other moon that tends to show up too in my energy deck, the goddess of the moon, I did see her and she was upside down. And that can be about people feeling like disconnected, lost in the dark, forgetting that they have this intuition, or not feeling as connected to their intuition or to spirituality in general as they could be or would otherwise be, you know, absent whatever situation. So that connects to that temple path too. I also saw, I got to tell you now that I'm thinking about it, the white buffalo calf woman. So you know what that means in my readings. Hopefully we won't see her again, but I did see her as I was shuffling. So in any case, The moon with Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. So if we ourselves, feminine, for example, are that woman holding a heart that's feeling upside down, overwhelmed, afraid, fearful, egotistical, whatever, we got to let that go. And, get connected. We're surrounded by the Six of Water, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, and romanticizing the past. So yeah, there could be something going on with a child of ours, possibly, or our children. And I'd say, thus far by the cards and my feeling, it's something positive that that's the case. But this is also, of course, a past life relationship card, a soulmate card, and that could certainly be at play as well. Also, the moon is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And perhaps your child is as well, if you're having a situation. The feminine subconscious, the Queen of Fire, who's confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. So the Queen of Fire is, a pistol. She's passionate. She's a go-getter. She, knows what she wants and deserves and how to go about doing it in a not, obnoxious or arrogant sort of way. And of course, the Queen of Fire is the quintessential divine feminine of the tarot. So we could be thinking about getting into our personal power in that regard too. Crowning the union, the Ace of Air, brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. So some things may be coming out. The Ace of Air may be here to join the Queen of Air in cutting away things that don't serve us. This is also a card of victory and having overcome, as many challenges as we saw on the other spread that had been overcome. Envy overcome. What was the other one that was in this position? The recent past was, anxiety, overcome, all those sort of negative emotions. And it's such a challenging beginning here. I always say it's a beginning nonetheless, but what it means is like to get to this point, it was difficult. So I guess that's true, for most of us, if not all. At the root, release with Archangel Azrael. So here we got the air and water too, which is another matter of balance that we've been seeing over the past few weeks. When air and water can come together harmoniously as opposed to like a tornado or a hurricane, it's a beautiful thing. This represents the sign of Scorpio or other water sign, Pisces, Cancer. It's the end of a phase or a situation, spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. This can also be, again, the fact that Pluto is direct and allowing those of us who were still feeling stuck to move forward now with the changes and our metamorphosis and in letting go of anything onto which we wanted to let go, but like we were stuck even there and we just felt like we couldn't drop it before. Now that should be easier with Pluto direct. At the heart of the matter, the Ten of Fire. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance. That leads to stress-related health concerns. Some of us may have had some difficulty, and I'd say that's definitely the case, again, based on the previous spread and my own life experience and talking to you guys every week. It may be connected to a fire sign specifically. We've got like fire, fire, fire in a row, tic-tac-toe here. But let's see what the romance cards will add to this. I'm beginning with playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And opening to wedding. This situation involves marriage. Two cards we saw in our weekly love reading this week too. Wedding. And opening to free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. I saw this as I was shuffling. I think it is, face value, free yourself from, of course, if you're in a bad relationship and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's also free yourself, again, from fear, from your own negative emotions, your own resentment, your own regret, your own pain. Free yourself from that, too. From your inhibitions Your limitations, your restrictions, they're self-imposed. Free yourself from all of it. Wedding. And keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Wedding. I'm going to go ahead and cut while we're on this happy note. Children. Your love life is being affected by children. So this could be the happy family that was in reverse. This can be in part what this Six of Water is about. This can be what's been holding the masculine, again, from making a move. There's been something going on with his family, his immediate family, as in, you know, wife and kids, or mother of his children, or something like that happening. This can also be in regard to us. Again, sometimes for some of us, I just feel that there's some sort of difficulty and clash with our parents too. So in that case, we would be the children. And the Six of Water could still be coming into play. This could be memories from our childhood, something that's been going on, you know, since we were little, something that occurred. Maybe it was an event that involving our parents and us, and things never were the same after that, and we're still holding on to something from it, you know, that sort of thing. The overall energy is religious factors, so that can certainly be with pertaining to the sacredness of the, you know, our divine unions, but also it can come into play with what I was just talking about. Different circumstances, situations, family values, belief systems, ideologies that we've wanted to let go of. They no longer align with our life and our choices for ourselves, but they're like being imposed upon us, and we're allowing them to be imposed upon us, or we're allowing people, close friends, family, our children's father, our children's mother, all that kind of stuff, to manipulate us. Those would be religious factors too. Things that we need to shed because they're blocking us. Here atop, life experience is passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So that can be like the immediate change that goes on with the masculine. All of a sudden, again, he's living for himself and not listening to other people, and, you know, allowing himself to feel all there is to feel about his situation. Here atop, the Four of Water. Not missing the opportunity. He is going to take the chance to get to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So acknowledging that one cup and paying it some attention. Atop, the Queen of Air. So he's thinking about this, maybe like, should I cut this away? Should I take a chance? Or maybe again, he's thinking about specifically a Queen of Air, or somebody with those traits, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all with this person. Atop of the Moon, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So again, the Moon is about paying attention to one's intuition. You're receiving messages, you're receiving guidance. You're like, don't be afraid to ignore them. Some of us have fears even with regard to our intuition and you know, gut feelings and things. We got to make the effort to follow those. Atop the Six of Water, codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So again, if this is a situation where we're being made to feel like children, because there's some sort of codependent situation with our parents, or there's something going on with our children or their other parent, that's a codependent, toxic situation. That's why this is showing up here. I mean, in some people's lives, it may be actual addictions as in substance abuse, but if so, very, very few. That's not like what came out at all. It's toxic relationships and stuff. And like I was saying, it may be specifically with a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Atop the Queen of Fire is deception. Someone's wearing a false self mask in this relationship. In other cases, this is the feminine herself. This is the divine feminine, again, represented by the Queen of Fire. And the deception is like ignoring the fact that this situation is not good. Like saying, oh, I released that already. Oh, I'm not with him anymore. I'm over that. And like ignoring the fact that, no, you've got cords to cut. And you've got to make the effort to cut them. You can't like keep putting a mask over your face and so that you can't see. And hope that it goes away. It won't go away. Atop the Ace of Air, very soon. So very soon, victory. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. At the root, our foundation. With release, right? Stuff that we have to let go of with that very powerful energy of Pluto, that energy of Scorpio. Let go of something and move on. Atop that is free yourself. Very, appropriately. It's time to take back control of your life. And this sits here, of course, next to the deception and crossing the codependency for the feminine. So many of us have a situation to deal with in order to move forward. At the heart of the matter, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. You see also what the Ascended Masters would add to this spread, again, beginning with health and healing, a Hilarion. Isn't that awesome? Opening to the Scorpion King himself. Father, husband, brother, son, Osiris. What this card means, like textbook, is that there is a masculine energy. So maybe that this applies, in great part to us feminine with this free yourself, codependency and deception. There's a masculine energy with whom we need to heal a relationship. In my opinion, the ways to do that, we can repair it or we can walk away from it. And sure enough, it's opposite the health and healing. And Raphael says yes. You see him blinking? Oh, goodness. Father, husband, brother, son. Open to priorities and King Solomon. So it's like we got to get on this. And prioritize ourselves, our happiness, so that, again, very soon, what we want can come to us. We keep blocking our own blessing by, like, ignoring the fact that these situations exist. Priorities. And handling them will lead to the power of joy. Priorities. I'll go one more. It's persistence, says Lou. So don't give up. Keep pushing. We can do this. And he's now on top. I'm going to cut. Go now, says Serapis Bay. So don't waste any more time in these toxic situations. And that goes for you too, masculine. This is, I was talking to the feminine in the past, couple minutes. This free yourself is at all, the foundation of both archetypes. So it's you as well. And remember, you have to free yourself here. And when you do, because you're so used to not freeing yourself and you're so used to living by somebody else's rules, again, you were guided to chuck the rule book with that strategy in reverse. So that's going to be like earth shattering for you, to be taking, your life into your own hands, like maybe for the first time in a long time, if not ever, to, go after your own passions. Go now, though, says Serapis Bay. Don't waste any more time. You are seeing this situation accurately, says Horus. So here, joining passion in the tower. Boom. Open your heart to love, says Jesus. Told you. You are guided to explore your own passions, to go after your own passions, masculine. And allow your life to be shaken up, like in that kind of positive way. And don't you deserve it? Atop the Four of Water, and getting to know each other is right and thought with this big moon here. So he's showing up for the moon. But also, one of the ways you may want to initiate communication is in writing, perhaps. Maybe you want to send a letter, a card, an email, a text. Atop, it's safe for you to love, and the Queen of Air is spiritual law of attraction. So this is what you want. This is who you want. You put out the kind of energy of love that shows that you're welcoming, because you got to be able to give and receive. And that's what you're going to get back. All the masculines cards are brown too. For the feminine, in making the effort, Isis says we can do this. We got to learn to balance career and home life. The top, codependency, yep, and the 6 of Cups, 6 of water. Health and healing is back with Hilarion. So these are situations that we have to work on, feminine. We can't keep ignoring. Ganesh says, yes, this is an obstacle. He'll help you knock it out of the way. But yeah, you got to pull that mask off. You got to address this situation. On top, very soon, and the Ace of Air is teacher, very appropriately. Again, Ace of Air is about a new beginning, a fresh start, but after a whole bunch of experience, right, and learning the hard way. That's what the teacher comes to affirm. Experience is the best teacher. A top, release and free yourself, mother, wife, sister, daughter. So as I've been saying since the other spread, when I got sort of taken over by that family, happy family in reverse, this is a wife, girlfriend, sister, your mother, and there's some emotions, cords, and perhaps in some cases, unfortunately, whole relationships that you have to release, of which you need to let go in order to free yourself and take back control of your own life. And this is on both sides, for both archetypes. This is at our foundation right here at our root for all. At the heart of the matter, boom, freedom. I think that says it all. I think this sums it all up. I'm going to go to advice, you know, like the truth will set you free, and releasing all these things, of course, will set you free. There it is. So from Archangel Raphael to the masculine, meditation. Dear Archangel Raphael, please meditate with me and guide my mind and body to focus upon peace, health, and wellness. This can also be going toward that rest and rejuvenation and getting back your personal power and your zen, your yin and yang in balance. Feminine, diet is important here. And this isn't only talking about food and drink. This is talking about people too. This is talking about detoxifying your life. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for guiding me to make positive eating and drinking choices. And also, again, other people, places, and thing choices. And for reducing or eliminating my cravings for unhealthful, not only substances, but situations. From the angel therapy cards to the masculine, crystals. The energy of crystals supports you and helps with your present situation. So some of you may want to work with crystals, perhaps specifically green crystals and the emerald ray, that healing energy of Archangel Raphael. But it doesn't have to. It could be, you might want to use some like rose quartz or something if you're working on love, clear quartz for just about anything, all that kind of stuff. Feminine, you're a powerful light worker. It's safe for you to be powerful. Remember I said the feminine had to take back her power here? Yeah. Okay, this is a reaffirmation from the angels. Safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings great blessings in loving service to the divine. So, masculine, the lovers are back. Intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. So at the end of the day, you know, this whole spread and reading has been about personal healing in all areas: spiritual, emotional, physical, physiological, but also love. It's more 6. And maybe specifically, again, love with a Gemini or other air sign, Aquarius, Libra. Wow. Isn't this awesome? The Lovers and Renewal, or Judgment. Another card that represents Pluto for me, and thereby Scorpio, with that energy of transformation and to release things and to allow things to die like a natural death and be done with them, that Pluto puts upon us, that, you know, the Scorpio can do maybe like none other, perhaps only a Queen of Air, right? Also Queen of releasing what is no longer, you know, and what no longer serves a purpose. So I think it's pretty awesome that we got this, but also because as it relates to relationships, it's about like having reached that crossroad and that make or break moment. So that can go for these relationships, again, that we have to either repair or walk away from. And that can go for our romantic relationships, and especially here mirroring the masculine's, you know, Lovers card. I can't imagine there'd be a tarot reader that would feel negative about the Lovers and Judgment, you know, coming up together. And, you know, some of you might want to Google the Lovers and Judgment and see. But from what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing and what I know about the tarot, sort of innate, you know, innate, just like the energy of Pluto that makes it innate to be able to go through transformation and to let things go. Yeah, this is pretty awesome from that, you know, perspective. And see, no wonder. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. So this is the sacred marriage. Remember, we started out with an overall energy of religious connotations. That wasn't the word, but basically that's what it means. And I said that related to the sacred marriage. So there's that. There's some of us that may, you know, actually be getting married. Maybe what the masculine will do that will shake him up to his core is he will open his heart to love and to passion to the extent that he'll propose. You know, I haven't seen the Knight of Water, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, this can certainly be what that's about, with the Tower, as it relates to opening one's heart to love and passion. Or making a commitment, maybe not necessarily an actual proposal of marriage, but a proposal of some sort of commitment, acknowledging the sacred union, the sacred marriage that exists, you know, what two souls God joins together. And feminine, chemistry, so maybe sex. I get the sex dice in one of the, I think it was a general reading. There's a strong magnetic attraction here, and it's coming through like physical. I mean, I'm sure it's emotional too. You know, I wouldn't argue that, but I'm feeling like sexual. From the energy deck, I got to be careful how I pick these up because I don't want to make something that's supposed to be reversed upright or upright reversed. It's the caring connections. They're back and they're still upright. So look at the masculine's cards. Look at his advice. Caring connections, wedding, the Lovers. The other two were meditation and crystals. So about, you know, maybe preparing himself for, you know, this love that he's about to approach, like he never has before, in a way he never has before. Feminine, Archangel Gabriel, 5th chakra in reverse. That's the throat chakra, and that's what we have here. We keep trying to, again, pretend this situation doesn't exist, hoping it'll go away. It's not going to go away. We're going to have to speak up. So you might want to do some meditation too, specifically directed at your throat chakra so that you can find the words. This yes too, in relation to marriage and commitment and proposal. Ganesh says yes. The feminine says yes. To the masculine. From the ascended masters to the masculine. See the other person's point of view. So this is in all his dealings, trying to approach each situation and person in as considerate and compassionate a way as possible, while maintaining his integrity, his personal, directives, values, desires. And lastly, the feminine, purification and white Tara. What I tell you, that other card is not, that diet is important here. That was not just about food. And this is not just about, like water. Both are about detoxifying your life and removing negative energy, negative emotions, negative cords of attachment, negative people, toxic situations, people, places, and things from your life over the next 2 weeks. I wish you the best in doing that. I hope that you find this reading helpful and that you enjoy it. Namaste, angels.